Working on my bad face. I'm working on my bad face. You know, Robert De Niro in Taxi Driver, where he practices saying, "You talking to me? You talking to me? Are you talking to me?" That's me right now. I'm getting bad. Because, for this video, quiero hablar de Ferocity. This is the third installment on mature versus immature spirituality. And I'm in my camper van in the back of the Diamante Hotel. That's the red hotel right there with the big water. I did find out why only one faucet in the shower works, or in the sink down in the restaurant, because they don't have water heaters here. These people can't afford water heaters. No, the water is in a tank on top of the building, and it's warm if it's been sunny, but if it hasn't been sunny, it's less warm. That's how people take care of themselves in Mexico. A lot of the little comforts of home that we assume back in the US, no, they're doing without. And they're doing fine. And they're happy and smart and interesting. So what I want to say about mature and immature spirituality, I've already said that most of the religions make you an infant. They encourage you to relate to God as a parent who knows all and you don't know. So you are the receiver of information from God, and that's it. Now, I think that's great as one part of the dialectic, receiving from God, and I do. And 4 years ago, I turned my life over to God, and I do have a pipeline that informs me right down to, how do you cross this creek? God says, lift your foot up and I'll tell you where to put it down. What's the next rock? Yeah, and it works. Great. Or how do you get down to that stream that's like 20, 30 feet down there, very steep embankment where you're camped up north of Bakersville in the Appalachian Mountains. Beautiful, incredible mountains and great mountain streams. I wanted to get down to that stream because the closer I get to it, the more the sound of the rushing stream turns my busy brain off. So I was standing there on the embankment going, shit, how do I get down there? I can't see a way. And this voice said, well, it's easy. Fall forward and grab that tree down there on your way down. I said, what? And the voice said, I swear, this is the way it worked. The voice said, now. And I fell and caught the tree, unharmed, maybe 10 feet down. And I looked around, well, what do I do next? And the voice said, see that little beach? There's that little part of sand right over there next to the rushing water? Jump down there. That's 15 feet. Now, boom, I did it. Planted it, and the judges gave me 7s and 8s for planting, no harm done, no ankles twisted, or nothing. And that's the way it works for me. Now, that's one part of the dialectic. I wait for life to tell me, push the button and record, go here, go there. I also learned from dogs like Mufafa here. Mufafa, who is a really smart street dog. He has learned from the street. He knows what to do, takes care of himself really well, and doesn't take orders well. Much as he loves me, he's never going to be a domestic dog, because try to tell him, come, and he thinks about it. He goes, you know, it's like Senor Wences back on Ed Sullivan. He's thinking about it. Yeah, that's what he does. He thinks about it. Can't believe I remember Senor Wences. I just went, yeah, it's right there. Boom. Because I have access to the information, and we all do. It's all filed there in our brain, and it's all filed there in the universe. And mature religions, although Huxley, back when in the early 1900s, great philosopher, wrote the book The Perennial Philosophy, and he said, all the great religions teach that everything is one. We're all connected with everything. Now, some of the non-great religions do not teach that. No, there's good people and bad people. No. Even the whole Eastern spirituality notion of reincarnation, maybe, but I think that's way too literal. But if in the here and now I'm connected with everything that ever was, and I do believe that, if we don't have a lot of resistance, if we're not all tied up in knots and have a lot of tension, we can receive all that information. So if I suddenly have a dream or a memory of being a monk in the 14th century, doesn't mean I literally was a monk in the 14th century. It might mean that whatever was going on there, I have access to it. It's a matrix. I'm connected. So if, in fact, in the here and now, in my body, in my limited brain, but my mind is way bigger than my brain, and even science is showing that the heart has a lot of intelligence by itself, maybe more intelligent cells than even the brain does. So it's all through me. And who I am is not the brain. It's a nice little computer. No, it's the mind. It's much bigger than that. And who I really am is bigger than the body. I've rented the body for a while and I'm using it, but I can toss it aside and I'm still here. I actually had the experience. When I was young, I was sexually abused and I learned how to leave my body because I had to, because it was too awful. And I would float up above the trees and look down. Now that had a downside of detachment to where sometimes I don't feel pain when I should. Sometimes I'm courageous in ways that don't make sense. But the beauty part is that as I've matured and I take charge of the process of leaving my body, I was camped along the French Broad River north of Asheville, and it was a big bowl. I was next to the French Broad River, and it was a big bowl, and it was the middle of the night, and I was walking on this road up above my camper van, and I realized I wasn't in my body anymore. I had filled that whole space. It was all me. I went, whoa, what's this? What do I do now? And I got it that, no, that body down there, walking on that road, that's your body parked there, but you're a lot bigger than that body. That's not who you are. So mature religions teach us that we are bigger than we knew, bigger than we'll ever understand, and that the job of spirituality is, number one, get bigger, fill the space, connect, don't resist, connect with all the other people, connect with your environment, connect with energy wherever it's coming from. So get bigger. And then what I started learning in my second year on the road was, but get deeper, go deeper. And I started staying in certain places longer. Instead of moving every 2 or 3 days through the Appalachian Mountains, I stayed the whole summer of 21 in Louisville, Kentucky. And then 6 weeks, fall of 21 in Chicago. And then 3 months, winter from December 23rd to March 15th of 22 in New Orleans. And learn. So every place you go, there's stuff you can learn. If you stay planted in Asheville, North Carolina, more than the 16 years I was there, you start to think that that's all there is, but there's so much more. So inner authority, take charge. Being receptive to the voice for spirit doesn't mean you're a little lump on the pillow. It means the voice for spirit may say, now go to South Texas. Now learn about South Padre Island. And now I've kind of mastered South Padre Island, having spent many months between South Padre Island and Brownsville and Matamoros, crossing into Mexico, which I did several times. And out of Brownsville, I went to Boca Chica Beach and swam across the Rio Grande where it dumps into the Gulf of Mexico, and crossed into Mexico a couple times illegally that way. And now I'm also illegally in Mexico because my plates are expired. Yeah, you do what you need to do and what you're told to do, and do it. Do it, baby.